Guys, this is going to be my first math video from home. I'm hiding in my bedroom while I do this because my kids have taken over the house. Yes, Benny and Charlotte, I'm homeschooling them. I've become a daycare teacher. So by day, I'm teaching numbers and shapes and colors, and now it is fourth grade math time. So I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're all happy and healthy and being safe out there. I love you guys. I miss you. I was looking over the results of the benchmark test, and this was a standard and question type that we struggled with a bit. So I wanted to go ahead and send out a video giving some examples and then some problems for you guys to work through. I did try to send this to myself as an attachment. I'm having some technical difficulties. I thought I'd be able to copy it as a PDF and then email it to myself, and then just copy and paste the link to you all, but that did not work. So I don't have your email addresses, but if you want to give me your email addresses, I can go ahead and email the file to you so you can work on this at home. But here we go, comparing place values. So as you'll note, there are two twos in this number, 2,287,553. And what they want you to understand is that the place of a digit in the number determines its value. The same digit will have a different number when in a different place. One place value to the left equals 10 times greater, which means that the 2 in the millions place is 2 million, and 2 million is 10 times more than the 2 in the hundred thousands place, which is 200,000, okay? So we have 2 million is 10 times more than 200,000. That's what we could do to describe these two numbers here. We could also do the reverse, and I'm going to talk about that over here. One place value to the right, again, equals 10 times, 10 times less if it's one place value to the right. So if we're going from here to here, 1 to the left, that would be 10 times greater. But if we're going from here to here, 1 to the right, that would be 10 times less. So if we're looking at 50, that is 10 times less than the 5 in the hundreds place, which is 500, okay? Let's go ahead down to the example problems. It says identify the value. 7,892. The first thing we need to do is identify the value of the 7 in this number. So I'm sure that you are all yelling it out at the computer screen right now. 7 in the thousands place is 7,000. Good. And then it says identify the value of the 7 in 34,706. The value of that 7 would be 700. So now it says compare the value of the 7 in 7,892. I'm sorry, compare. The value of the 7 in 7,892 is blank times blank than the value of the 7 in 34,706. So we have to figure out how many times, and then is it more or less, okay? Because that's what it is, or greater than, less than, right? Is it how many times, and then is it greater than, or is it less than? So that's what we're trying to figure out here. So the value of the 7 in 7,892, we already said is 7,000. So is that how many times this number here, 700? How many times this number? Well, if you notice, it's 1 0 more. 7,000 has 1 more 0 than 700. So we're going to go ahead and put 10 times, because anytime you're adding 1 0 to a number, that means we've multiplied by 10. And then, like I said, since this is 10 times more than 700, that means that the 7,892 is 10 times more as well. Okay, so that's how that is going to work. Let's go ahead and do another example here. I apologize if my wording is unclear. Usually I have students who can raise their hands and ask questions, and I can reword and help clarify. I'm going to do the best I can to just keep it straight to the point and give a lot of examples so that I can make it as clear as possible, okay? So again, identify the value. So we have a 7 underlined here, and we have a 7 underlined here. So now we want to go ahead first and find the value of the 7 in the tens place. The value of the 7 in the tens place would be 70. And the 7 over here is in the hundreds place. So the value of a 7 in the hundreds place would be 700. So now to compare, right away I want to notice that up here this number was larger than this number, but now I'm noticing this number is less than this number. Okay, so that might give us a hint about what's going to happen right here. So again, 5,073 is blank times blank than the value in the value of the 7 in 18,749. So just to repeat that, because I know I skipped this part. The value of the 7 in 5,073 is blank times blank than the value of the 7 in 18,749. So we already know that the value of the 7 here is 70. And we already know that the value of the 7 here is 700. Well, again, we're noticing that there's only 1 0 from here to here, right? So that means because it's 1 0, it's 10 times. Now we have to notice this is 70 is, okay? 70 is our smaller number, okay? So 70 is actually going to be 10 times less than this number here, okay? So we would go ahead and write that the value of the 7 in 5,073 is 10 times less than the value of the 7 in 18,049, okay? Let's go ahead and flip to the next page. This is a little bit more of the same. You'll notice the top is a little bit different though. We're not just jumping one spot anymore like we were before. Remember, one spot to the left means it's 10 times greater. One spot to the right means it's 10 times less. On this page, however, we're not just jumping one spot, we're jumping 2 spots. And because we're jumping 2 spots, 2 place values to the left would be 100 times greater. 2 spots, 2 zeros, okay? And then over here, 2 spots to the right, again, 2 spots, 2 zeros, so it's 100 times less. So let's go ahead and try that out in an example. Identify the value 3,862. 8 in the hundreds place would be 800. Identify the value of 84,906. The 8 in the 10,000s place would be 80,000. Compare the value, I keep doing that. You guys must think I'm crazy. The value of the 8 in 3,862 is blank times blank than the value of the 8 in 84,906. So again, this is this 800 value. This is how many times? Well, we have to look at how many zeros is between the two, right? So here we have 2 zeros, here we have 4 zeros. So we've added 2 zeros, which means 100 times. Okay? And then the number from 800 to 84,000, right? From 800, sorry, to 80,000. Well, that number, this number is less than this number. So you would say that 3,862 is 100 times less than the value of the 8 in 84,906. So now what I'm going to ask you to do right now is just taking a look at this sheet. I want you to go ahead and try to pause the video and solve that last problem on your own. It says identify the value 8,923, identify the value 15,086, compare. The value of the 8 and 8,923 is blank times the blank, then the value of the 8 and 15,086. So like I said, go ahead, pause the video, try to solve it. All right, so you're coming back to me now, hopefully after having paused it and tried to solve this problem on your own. But let's go ahead and work it out together, and you can go ahead and see if you got that correct. So again, identify the value. The 8 would be 8,000 in this one because it's in the thousands place. The 8 over here is in the tens place, so that would be 80. You'll notice there's a difference of 2 zeros, so that means that that is 100 times. And this number is more than this number. So you would go ahead and write that the 8,000 is 100 times more than the value of the 8 and 15,086. So I hope after those practice problems that has become more clear. Like I said, that was a struggle skill that we had from the benchmark just collectively as a class. I wanted to make sure to go over it with you guys, and that's kind of what I'm going to be doing this week. I'll make another video on Wednesday and then again on Friday. And then starting next week, there are going to be some iReady lessons that are going to be added to your iReady accounts. They're going to already be assigned to you, and those are going to be based on the benchmark tests as well. And then also what's going to be going home. They haven't quite decided if it's going to be for delivery with food deliveries or if it's going to be for pickup at the school. Is going to be the ready pages that go along with those iReady pages. And I'm going to go ahead next week and also a couple times next week. I might only do it once. Just post a video. Actually, well, depending on the skills. I'm going to take a look at them and try to figure that out. But depending on the skills, I'm going to be posting videos that basically just practice the skills and kind of reinforce the skills. Because sometimes I know that the instruction on those iReady videos can be a little unclear, and it might be helpful to also hear it from me. But just to sum it up, I'm going to turn the page one last time. This is a practice page. If you want to go ahead and pause the video now. And try to go through this practice page and answer the questions. And then I will go ahead and go over the answers. You can also, if you're on your phone, take a screenshot of it, maybe print it. Like I said, I did try to get this out to you guys, and I wasn't successful with that. But if you do send your email to me, I can definitely get this out to you without a problem. Just, email me at, I'll write it on the back of this. Actually, my email address is ERodriguez@starkvillesd.com. So that's my email address. If you email me, I can definitely reply. And have the attachment and have an attachment of this worksheet. Or like I said, you can just pause it and work it out on some scrap paper. But here we go. I'm going to go through the answers right now with this worksheet for you to go ahead and check your work. And if you're not ready to check your work yet, just make sure that you go ahead and pause the video at this time. Okay, so answers. Determine the value of the underlined digits. So this is just a review of some things that you were doing earlier in the year. just to kind of warm up. So the 3 in the hundreds place would be 300. The 2 in the thousands place would be 2,000. The 6 in the millions place would be 6 million. The 2 in the 100,000s place would be 200,000. The 8 in the tens place would be 80. And then the 4 in the 10,000s place would be 40,000. Okay, going down to the bottom here, identify the value. The 5 in the tens place would be 50. The 5 in the hundreds place would be 500. Compare the value of the 5s. Well, there's only 1 0 difference, so I know that that's 10 times. And this number is less than this number, so I know it is 10 times less. Identify the value with 51,297 and 13,526. So we have 50,000 over here, and we have 500 over here. I see that there's a difference of 2 zeros, which means this would be 100 times. And I see that this number is greater than, so this would be greater than. I'm going to write more than just because the word is smaller to fit on the line. Next one, we have 5 in the tens place, that's 50. And we have 5 in the thousands place, that's 5,000. I know that looking at these two numbers, there's a difference of 2 zeros, so that I know that's 100 times. And I also know that this number is less than this number, which means I'm going to put less here. And then identify the value of 90,517. We have the 5 in the hundreds place, that's 500. We have 100,152. The 5 is in the tens place, that's 50. And again, we notice there's 1 0, so that's 10 times. And it says the value of the 5 in 90,517 is 10 times. And that would be more than the value of the 5 in 100,152. Okay, I hope that lesson was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or message me on Dojo. Love you guys. Talk soon.